Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the third quarter of 2021. Can you believe it? This video is going to be an in-depth look of July, August, and September, those months of 2021. The first thing we're going to take a look at is just your current general energies, where you are right now. In the second row here, we're going to take both of these. We're going to look at any messages from your future self, basically what your future self wants you to know in September, at the end of September. Then we're going to look at anything unexpected coming in for you here. And at the end, we're going to get any messages from your guides. We're also going to pull 3 yes or no question cards at the end. You can, if you don't have questions, that's fine too. I'm just going to put all 3 cards together, and I will just answer them all together. So Pisces, let's see what is going on for you for quarter 1 here. And definitely, I'm noticing a lot of people here, so that doesn't really surprise me. The world is, kind of opening back up here, so it makes sense that, sorry, this is very unorganized, but it makes sense, because I feel like the world is opening back up, and you could be dealing with a lot of people or kind of being with a lot of people here, Pisces, but Pisces, this looks nice. I like it. You start off here in your current general energies, so where you are right now, you have the 8 of Swords. So some of you could be feeling like a little bit stuck or not sure what to do. I wouldn't really worry about this, Pisces, because it kind of looks like to me, without jumping too far ahead here, I feel that for some of you, you could be taking some sort of kind of like unexpected risk. This is not, this isn't something, I think sometimes I say the word risk and people kind of think that it's a bad thing or whatever. This is not like a crazy risk. This isn't something that's going to put you in danger or something like that, but I'm definitely getting some sort of risk here to like take an adventure. Some of you, literally, I am getting that this could be travel, and for some reason, this travel that you're going on, or could be going on over the next 3 months, is going to change things for you. Maybe you travel somewhere and you decide you want to move there in the future. This is showing up as unexpected. So this is clearly going to be, you might be sitting there saying, I don't have any plans to travel, or I don't have any plans to do anything. Again, this could be very unexpected for you here, Pisces, but I feel like you're trying to shake, I almost get more of like this, like shake it off type of vibe here on this 8 of Swords. It's like you're trying to shake something off of you here with the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is self-imposed restriction. It is kind of like an energy of being in prison, but I get more of this like, it's kind of funny because I'm thinking about the shower I took this morning, Pisces. I was in the shower, and I don't know what they did to the water where I live, but, I think they, made it soft or something, because it's like I couldn't get the soap like out of my hair, off of my body, right? It just would not come off. And that's like how I'm feeling. This card is how I felt this morning. So I feel like that's very, I feel like the two things are, it's almost like the universe made that happen, as crazy as that sounds, because I feel like it's like a message for you here, Pisces, on this 8 of Swords energy. It's almost like you're trying to get this like film off of you here. For some of you, I feel that it could be a person, because we have the King of Wands here in your reading twice, actually. So for some of you, it's kind of like you're trying to remove yourself from something. And this is also the reason I say this. You have the 5 of Pentacles here as well. I think something maybe people forget about the 5 of Pentacles is that it can represent like some sort of weakness, and, but something you're trying to get rid of. Normally, there's a guy who has a bell around his neck on the 5 of Pentacles, and he represents a leper. And the card does say, do not call attention to your weaknesses, but I do feel like there's something that you're wishing to remove from your life. You have this 9 of Cups here, Pisces, and it's like I'm seeing this 9 of Cups as these kind of like wishes, dreams, and desires. I'm getting more of a, more of like a dreamy, almost, 7 of Cups vibe from that 9 of Cups here, and that's kind of like what I'm feeling intuitively on this card, is kind of like more of this like 7 of Cups energy, which is more like dreamy, imaginative, and all this other stuff, because I feel if you are stuck to something, or if you feel like there's this kind of like film, like I was saying, it's almost like something that you feel that you have to like identify with. I'm getting kind of weird words here, but for some of you, I feel like you're kind of like shaking this feeling, or you're trying to shake something that has maybe been part of your identity in the past. It might not be part of your identity any longer here with this 9 of Cups, and I feel like you're wishing for brighter days. For some of you, it could be a person here that you're trying to escape, I feel, with this King of Wands, but that doesn't have to be true for all of you. So let me just clarify this, what is going on for you here, Pisces. I do feel in a big way that this is like you not wanting to be locked down into a certain identity. That's really what's popping into my head, basically, Pisces. Yeah, 4 Wands here. It's like you want the freedom to choose yourself, really, with the 4 Wands. For some of you, could be trying to, the thing that you could be trying to leave is a marriage here with the 4 Wands. I do feel like this first row is a little bit more bigger picture. I do feel like this first row is more talking about kind of like your identity, like I said. Yeah, you have the Emperor here as well. Some of you could be trying to get away from a controlling person if it wants to focus here, Pisces. Could also be trying to get away from an Aries if you happen to be with an Aries. It's not going to work. Whatever, I give up. But I feel some of you are trying to get away from something that you feel has been controlling you. And you have the Two of Pentacles, probably something you've been going back and forth on for quite a while, is what I would say to you. I really feel that it makes perfect sense that Jupiter is entering into your sign officially next year. It is in your sign right now, until August, basically, through August, then it's going to retrograde out of your sign. But, with Jupiter in your sign, you're going to want to expand. And anything that's limiting, like let's say you identify yourself as a certain career, for example, you probably won't want to necessarily be boxed in by that thing that you identify with. You could identify with a certain movement, and you might actually want more freedom. You could identify with a certain business, or people could associate you even with like a certain thing. And so you're probably, the type of freedom that you're looking for is the freedom to identify yourself as whatever you want to be identified as. Plain and simple. And again, this goes for career, love. It's like if people are boxing you into like a certain type of person in love, then you're probably going to want to escape that here. And that's really what I'm getting. And I feel like this is more of an urge. Like I feel like this is something that you're feeling, Pisces. And again, it could be showing up in multiple areas of your life. You even have this right here. In your next row for messages from your future self, you have the Frog Spirit says clear out the clutter, and you have this Canary which says sing your own song. I mean, can't make this stuff up here, Pisces. Clearly, I feel that you're kind of like wanting to sing your own song. I feel like you're wanting to live life on your own terms here with this energy. I feel like the clearing out the clutter thing is like very important because, and it's kind of funny because I did a reading for you recently. It might have been your June reading or your mid-June reading, Pisces, where I was saying like how it's going to be very important for you to be very like lightweight. And I'm not talking about you physically, but I'm talking about like where you live or, kind of like the things that you have. I feel like the more flexible, and by flexible, I mean the faster that you can make movements, the better here with this energy. Even for those of you who are like maybe trying to learn a skill, for example, or maybe you're like going to school or something, it might be a good idea for you to like learn a skill that can be used like all over the place. Like, the best example I have is like sales, right? Because if you are good at sales, then you can pretty much get any job literally, because pretty much everything is selling, right? So I'm not suggesting that you do sales, but I'm just giving you an example, right? I'm sure maybe you want to be, a doctor or a lawyer. It's like maybe there's like a big kind of, maybe there's like one skill inside of that kind of benefits a wide variety of different potential careers, right? And I feel like you're doing this because it's like you're making yourself more flexible, by being good at this one thing. And that's kind of like popping into my head here for you, Pisces, and I feel like your future self really wants you to kind of like focus. The other thing that I keep getting for you, Pisces, and this has been popping into my head for you for like months. Literally, I feel like what you're starting to realize is that like if you've been working on any projects or businesses, I feel like it's been very difficult, right? For the past like 10 years or so, it's been very challenging. And now I feel like you've almost like developed, it's kind of like you're getting to this point where you figured out what works. Why is this important? Because I feel like you're going to be able to multiply this like times 10. So it's like, if you're working on a project, I feel like you're going to be able to duplicate it like 10 times in different areas of your life, and it's going to make you very successful. If it's a business, same thing. I feel like you're going to be able to like take what you have learned, and it's like you're going to be able to duplicate it multiple times. For others, it doesn't have to be something like very big either. It could be like maybe you made an investment and you realized something about the investment. It's like pay attention because you're going to be able to duplicate it multiple times. Again, I keep getting this thing about you being very flexible because of like some sort of realization. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Strength card. I do feel like your future self wants you to know that over these 3 months that you're going to have to be patient. at this time. I do see some sort of like conflict here, especially I would say if you're dealing with like a fire sign in love, there could be a conflict here. King of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Three of Swords, and a Five of Wands here. I feel like this is something that could be overcome, but this just looks like immature behavior to me here, Pisces. Even this way, if you're married to a fire sign, Four of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords, King of Wands right here. So I feel for those of you who have been married to one or who have been with one, this could be like a separation, could be like some sort of conflict here. Wouldn't really worry about it because, I feel in a lot of ways you're coming out on top. So, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but just something I wanted to point out here, Pisces. I do feel that for some of you that you're kind of like feeling, again, I feel this feeling of feeling boxed in with the Four of Pentacles. And I do feel you have this feeling of wanting a change. It's like one of those things where the reason, I feel like the reason, as I was saying at the beginning, the reason you don't want to be associated or identified as just like this one tiny little thing, whatever, and I'm speaking generally, but it is popping into my head generally, and I feel like it's something that you're going to be dealing with for quite a while, for these 3 months. And the reason is because I feel like you will be having a very strong desire for freedom, of course, like everybody else, but also flexibility. So I feel that you're going to probably be rejecting, it's almost like you're rejecting like conforming to things, if that makes sense, Pisces. And again, I feel like this is a good thing for whatever reason. I feel anxious, like I'm not gonna lie to you here, Pisces. I feel it's like kind of like anxious, restless energy, but at the same time, the Strength card is a good card because it is a card of showing off in the future, and it is a card of strength and determination. So I feel like there's a good reason for this. Let's see if we can find out what that is, Pisces. You have the World, accomplishment. And what was I saying about moving? For some of you, it's like you're finding a new place in the world, or finding your place in the world. You have the Seven of Swords here, lying, cheating, stealing. For some of you, I do feel, again, that this person, whoever this is, doesn't have to be a fire sign, by the way. It could be any sign. But, I feel like you have dealt with someone who's a liar, cheater, stealer. For others, again, as I always say, this is not Days of Our Lives tarot. This is not Kim Kardashian tarot, right? This is just regular old tarot. Little old Chris tarot, okay? I'm basically an 80-year-old man, right? In a tiny man-child's body. And what I would say here is that this could just be a difficult person that you're dealing with. And that's and someone who is immature as well, Five of Wands. So, for some of you, sure, you were dealing with a liar, cheater, stealer, led to a heartbreak. But look, you have new love coming in. Doesn't even matter, right? Someone who finds you very sexy with the Queen of Wands here, Ace of Cups, tons of love. So this looks really good for those of you that have been hurt in love in the recent past, because I feel like in a lot of ways you're being rewarded here from the universe, which we're going to talk about that in just a minute. For others, like I said, it could be lying, cheating, stealing, but I feel like you're moving on. But for others, I feel like it's just, someone who's immature, right? And you have the Ace of Wands, new beginning coming in for you here. So wouldn't even worry about it if you were dealing with a person like this. I feel it's just going to lead to a new beginning. For others, Seven of Swords is fears. And, this has been coming up for you a lot, Pisces. So I do feel like it's time to let your fears go. In a lot of ways, I wouldn't really call this fake it till you make it energy, because the Queen of Swords is my card of faking it till you make it, and kind of the Knight of Swords as well. But you have the Queen of Wands here, and I am kind of getting that, I am getting a little bit of fake it till you make it energy, but not really, Pisces, because what I would say to you is, here's the difference between the two. Queen of Wands actually has the knowledge, right? So I feel that something where maybe you feel like an imposter, and, you don't really have any cards of imposter syndrome here. Mostly like the Six of Pentacles, to me, can represent imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not good enough to do something. But I kind of get that here, where it's like you feel like you're not good enough to do something. Maybe you feel like a faker. I don't know, I feel like this is a very Pisces feeling. And I would say it's not true. And again, if you have the Queen of Swords here, which maybe will show up, but, Queen of Swords is kind of like the card of learning as you go, and which is still not a bad thing. It's like Queen of Swords, she can choose to do something, she learns as she goes, and she is fine, right? She will be successful. But I do get an energy here of needing to be bold, needing to be assertive, and really needing to charge forward on something, needing to let go of the fears. We're going to put this all together at the end, just so you know. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this privileged lady card here. It doesn't matter what gender you are, Pisces, as always. I just feel like you could be gaining, one thing that is unexpected is I feel like you could be gaining some new privileges here. And this could be financial for sure, but it doesn't have to be. I feel for some of you, this is more talking about just kind of like abundance coming in for you. There's a major change coming in for you. You have the coffin here as well. It's like an opportunity. The coffin door is closed on this card. It reminds me of the coffin in the Lenormand. You know, in the coffin in Lenormand, we have to open the door. We are inside the coffin, but we have to choose to make the change. So I do feel there could be kind of like a little bit of a, unexpected opportunity coming in for you here. You even have the High Priestess. And look, it's like she's kind of like hiding something behind this curtain here, Pisces, and we don't really know what it is. Sorry, Mercury retrograde, it's not going to focus, right? After the retrograde, the camera will go back to focusing. But anyway, she's hiding something behind this curtain here. And so I feel for some of you that this is you showing up in the reading in a very strong position. But I do feel also that there could be some sort of, kind of like hidden opportunity coming in for you. Five of Wands is definitely a battle, right? Five of Wands, I used to call Indiana Jones because to me, with the Five of Wands, we have to kind of go on some sort of crazy adventure to get the rewards. Whatever, I quit. But Pisces, we have to go on some sort of crazy adventure to get the abundance of the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a very abundant card. I think that's something, again, people don't recognize about the card. But we have to go we have to go through this process of learning, right? And you have the King of Wands again. This deck has male and female versions of the kings. I just leave them in the deck because why not? And I do feel, part of me feels like it's separate energy here anyway. And I feel this is your energy where it's saying that, the King of Wands is a card of like really nurturing something into existence. So it's almost like you're being given an opportunity here. Could be quite unexpected to kind of start something. But you're going to have to nurture it into existence. It's going to lead to a lot of abundance. Let's see what this is. You have the Nine of Swords. Again, I do feel like for some of you, someone's just being difficult here. So if you're going through a divorce, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Again, I feel if you're going through a divorce, this person's just going to be a butthead. I feel like, but again, I wouldn't worry about it because right over here, it's kind of like new love. So to me, that would suggest that you're getting out of this situation. But I do feel like someone is being immature in a separation situation. So if you're going through a separation, divorce, breakup, whatever, you could be dealing with someone who's just being a butthead, right? Pisces, what else is new? You have the Ten of Wands here. And you have the Six of Wands, success coming in for you here, Pisces. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. Like, whatever you're doing, it's going to be, if there's an opportunity for you to start a business or for you to go on an adventure, it's going to require, like, what's popping into my head is that it's going to require a lot of diligence with the for some reason. That's the word I'm getting on the Ten of Wands. And what I mean by diligence, like you're really going to have to be paying attention to the details. There might be a lot of paperwork involved in a change that you're making. There could be, just a need to really pay attention to the details. There could be a ton of extra responsibilities with that Ten of Wands. For some of you, I'm just getting like, and I would say, like, for some of you, the word freelance is popping into my head as well. I would say if you do, like, freelance work or, anything like that, I feel like there could be, like, a major contract coming up. It could be one of those things that keeps you up at night. But this, again, tarot doesn't, what kills me about tarot is it's like, it doesn't say don't do something. Tarot doesn't say no. Tarot says, this is how you can avoid problems. But at the same time, tarot could say, yeah, you're going to have some sleepless nights. You're going to be busting your ass doing some work. But guess what? Six of Wands, you will be successful. So it's like, does that mean you shouldn't do something? No, especially if it's going to make you a bunch of money or if it's going to bring other forms of abundance into your life. Totally worth it. For some of you, I am getting like, for some of you here, I feel like there could be like a little bit of a sacrifice as well, where, it's like I hesitate to say that you're doing something for free, but I do feel for some of you, it's like there's going to be an opportunity for you to do something that's going to pay off like in the future, right? It's like it's not going to necessarily pay off right now. I'm getting all sorts of things. Like maybe somebody wants to interview you, and it's like maybe it doesn't pay off now, but it will in the future. I would don't be afraid to take those opportunities. This could be one of those things where it's like, I'm just getting like weird stories popping into my head here, Pisces, where it's like, maybe you have a business and someone wants to interview you. I feel like they could be very small. And that's where the hesitation is coming in, but I feel like they're going to blow up. So it's like being one of their first interviews is going to pay off for you big time in the future. I get that story popping into my head, but I feel like this could be something something else. There could be other opportunities. So how will you know what this opportunity is? Well, I just told you. If there's like someone who seems small right now who wants to do something with you, I would take advantage of that because, again, I feel like, this is something that's going to pay off in the future big time. For others, I feel like you could be doing almost like a lot of busy work in business. I'm getting a million things here if you can't tell, Pisces, but it is a 3-month reading, so I'm going to cover this. For some of you, I feel like there could be like some things that seem like busy work, but I feel like it's going to pay off big time in the future. I'm getting like all these stories popping into my head, like if you have a business, maybe writing thank you notes to your new customers. I feel like that would be huge. Even though it's like busy work, right? It's like that's like what I'm referring to here. But that's kind of like what I get for you here. But I feel like this is just an unexpected opportunity that's going to lead to a lot of abundance. In your final row here, for any advice from your guides, you have the Y card. I feel like your guides want you to be curious at this time. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me just based off the astrology. I do feel like our guides want us to do like as much research and looking into things as possible. I feel like research, looking into things, it could be very profitable for all of us. And I'm not just referring, again, I'm not referring to just money. I'm referring to love, pretty much everything. You have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and Ace of Cups. Number one, I feel like your guides want you to know that like true love is possible with this card here. I feel like you've been in the mud here is what I'm getting. This is a lotus, and the kind of like the mythology or whatever you want to call it around the lotus is that they spring up from mud, right? And they're beautiful flowers. So I feel like you've been in the mud for a very long period of time as far as love is concerned. But I feel like someone who finds you very attractive is coming in. Queen of Wands is a card of seduction. So it's like someone is very seduced by you. I feel like you will be seduced by them. So it definitely could lead to marriage as well. And I feel like your guides want you to know that. For others, I feel like your guides also want you to know to work on one thing. This is like the Knight of Cups is your dream life. And I feel like the Queen of Wands is you kind of like really focusing on something that is a dream and really kind of making it happen here, Pisces. Wheel of Fortune, damn. Fortunes are changing here, Pisces. And you have the King of Swords here with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, good things coming in after a difficult period of time. Could be a more mature person coming in for you. Could be older than you. Doesn't have to be always true, right, with the King of Swords. And again, gender doesn't matter. I just feel there's like a mature person who's actually looking to have a family, happy home, happy family with the Ten of Cups. Even if you don't want a family, it could just be a person who wants something very solid, a very mature person. And you have the Temperance card as well. So I feel like your guides want you to be patient. But at the same time, Temperance to me can represent kind of creating your own reality, Pisces. So, it's the Temperance angel is pouring water back and forth between the two cups on this card. And again, it can represent creating your own reality. So I feel your guides want you to know that you create your own reality. But this is a good reading, Pisces. So I love it. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. And I feel like you're setting yourself free. I feel like you just need to channel your like restless energy here into one thing, is what I would say to you. I feel like I've been saying this to you all year, but I also feel like I feel like this reading, as complex as it sounds, as this is gonna sound, I feel like you need to look at like one skill that could be very beneficial for you, but it's gonna have like it's gonna have an impact in multiple areas of your life. Like let's say like maybe you want to become more charismatic, right, Pisces? I feel like improving your charisma will help. It will help you in like love, in business, and work, and career, and in your health as well, because it'll make you feel happier, and which improves your health, right? I feel like for whatever reason, I feel like this reading is saying, like, focus on, like, one thing that has a much bigger impact. I hope that makes sense, where it's like, it doesn't matter what area of your life you're trying to improve, right? But I would just, like, focus on that one thing that kind of has a, like, a spillover effect, if that makes sense. But we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards here, Pisces. And by the way, I also definitely get, like, moving or traveling here, and it could be quite unexpected. But on top of that, we're going to do 3 yes or no question cards. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your questions. I'm also going to put all 3 of these together. But for question number 1, I would say yes. I feel like this is that King of Swords person right here. Definitely could be love coming in for you. I feel like this is also your energy, Pisces. I've been saying this for a year, right? I feel like you are embracing kind of like this very direct King of Swords type of energy. So I kind of feel like this is a yes. For question number 2, I'd say yes. 8 of Pentacles results. I feel like there's major financial success coming in for you at this time. For most of you, it's kind of weird because I look at this more as like a personal development reading. I feel like maybe the next 3 months are going to be really good for you on a personal level, but I definitely can see how, as I've been saying, there's going to be a major increase in your finances or in your abundance in general. We kind of touched on this, and that's what I'm getting here. It's like all the work you're doing is going to pay off. And finally, you have the 2 wands. I would say yes, 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 Pisces, is all I got to say here. For a lot of you, I feel like whatever you're working on is going to lead to a lot of success. I feel like there are things that are holding you back with that 2 wands that you need to leave in the past. Like, I feel like there are old behaviors. I feel like there are things that you do. I've been saying this to you for a while, and I really get this message here. It's like, I feel for some of you, what all 3 of these are saying all together is it's like, if you're trying to become something, it's like there's a certain energy that goes along with that. So, study success, number one, but if there's like a type of person you're trying to become, if there's like a type of person you want to date or whatever, it's like there's a certain energy that goes along with that. And I feel like this is kind of saying, leave the behaviors in the past, this 2 of wands, that do not go with that energy, right? I know it sounds simple, but Pisces, you are the chameleon, right? And Pisces has the ability to change very quickly, and that's kind of like what I'm getting here. Doing that will lead to a lot of success. This is a really good reading, Pisces. I feel like you're in for some good stuff. I'm excited to see what comes up for quarter 4, because I feel like it's going to be even better, but this is definitely very good. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support, Pisces. But thank you, and definitely enjoy the rest of your quarter.